Hello everyone, I am again with you with the another module of Unit 3, Environmental Pollution. So today we are going to discuss nuclear hazards and human health risk. So before starting the topic nuclear hazards, I want to discuss what are radioactive substances, why we are correlating these such substances with nuclear hazards. Radioactive substances are those substances which are on decay of unstable isotopes, releases high amount of energy, particles, high energy radiations or both at a constant rate till stability. On decomposition of radioactive substances, there is a release of enormous amount of energy in the form of alpha, beta and gamma radiation. These radiation may affect all the flora and fauna. Like this image, you can understand the alpha, beta, gamma, X-rays and the neutron particles, how they can penetrate towards each level. Now, what are the causes of nuclear hazard? So, after discussing radioactive substances, that means the impact of the radiation from the radioactive substances is known as nuclear hazards because these are harmful. They may be chronic and they may be acute. Mostly they are chronic. Chronic means the long-term exposure of nuclear radiation towards any living being. Then it may harm the biological system, all the biochemical reactions and all. So nuclear hazard is due to nuclear danger. Now what nuclear dangers are? Number one, nuclear power has been considered as a natural protection and a potential source of energy. That's why nowadays we are moving ahead with the alternate source of energy towards the nuclear energy. But somehow it is indirectly impacting or harming the living system. So if nuclear power plants are not placed under strict security measures, there is a chance to the nuclear accident will occur. So nuclear plants contain a large amount of radioactive materials in their storage to produce nuclear energy. Radiations from the environment proves to be very dangerous in the immediate environment, air, water, resources and human health. If nuclear power plants are used in a flawed design, if there is an malfunctioning of nuclear power plants, then there may be another accident like Chernobyl disaster which happened in 1986 in Ukraine. So the malfunctioning of nuclear power plants may be responsible for the nuclear hazards for the living system. This is the image of nuclear power plant. Now the next is nuclear waste management. Nowadays we are having enormous amount of e-waste, or you can say the electronic waste. We are having such type of industrial waste as well, which is composed of radioactive substances. So radiated nuclear waste is classified as low and high level of waste. If the waste handling and disposal of this waste are not done according to the standards set for waste management from the Environment Protection Act or any other law and order, then nuclear hazard may result from the leakage of this radioactive material. Radiation cannot be reduced or treated biological or chemically, that's why these are more harmful. The only option is to contain the waste by keeping it in a sealed container, having radiation protection or disposing it in remote areas. Next is nuclear oil mining. That means by extracting nuclear fuels such as thorium, uranium can become a nuclear hazard if safety preventions are not taken. Mining increases exposure to people by removing radio equipment from underground to the surface. So that means we need nuclear material or radioactive material for the generation of nuclear energy. But the process, during that particular process, there is a chance to be hazardous. So exposing the natural environment such as trees, plants, water, animals, birds or etc. or all any living being to radiation during excavation also increase the risk of nuclear hazard. Now radiation damage. That means the crash occurred as a result of maritime accidents caused by shipwrecks and radioactive vessels. The availability of contaminated water in homes can also have a serious consequence for human health. Now, radiation-based testing. That means due to some medical emergencies, there is a procedure for X-rays and all the ultrasonic rays, all ultrasounds we do. And the another part, the cancer patient used to follow the gamma radiation therapy, the other radiation therapies, you can say. So such type of exposure of radiation also harm the human body. So radiation has been used in several treatments such as cancer chemotherapy or radiotherapy, you can say. Exposure to based on radiotherapies can lead to death and other complications, because the ill person cannot be follow up such critical situation which are after the radiation therapy. Leaking radiation from medical facilities can also fatal as per the nuclear accidents. Now, what are the effects of nuclear hazards? But obvious, these are very hazardous impacts. So nuclear accidents cause large amount of nuclear waste to be released into the environment and thus pollute air, water and land. Radiation releasing material released from nuclear hazards cause changes in DNA, thereby affecting genes and chromosomes, just like that Hiroshima and Nagasaki case studies. Radiation can kill important plants and animals, important species of flora and fauna. Toxic and harmful species are also affected. It caused great damage to biodiversity as well. So injuries caused by various types of radiation include direct physical injuries such as burns, miscarriages, cancer, osteoporosis, eye disease, etc. So by this image you can understand how we are under the exposure of nuclear radiation, how they are impacting all the organs of our. Now, nuclear resources such as natural resources are affected by nuclear debris and nuclear elements as well. So if nuclear disaster areas are not treated and properly managed, it can lead to human infections due to contamination in water and in soil. Children are at great risk of developing radiation exposure. High level of radiation increases the risk of cancer early in children's life. Nowadays there is another radiation, that is microwave radiation, you can say. So we can say such type of microwave radiations can be releases from these particular phones and all. So that's why continuous exposure of such type of radiation near to your cerebellum of the brain may cause the harm to your brain or central nervous system. So nuclear risk also lowers the human immune system to fight infections and diseases. Now, how we can mitigate? Number one, these are the serious threats. That's why there is a need of an hour to control such conditions. So there must be a solid design and construction of nuclear reactors or nuclear power plants. Medical equipments including nuclear fuel and its use should be used with caution. Nuclear leaks, radioactive fallouts or the nuclear waste should be handled perfectly. After all the procedure, the cleaning proportion should also be followed. There should be constant monitoring of areas they are particularly vulnerable to nuclear hazards. So prolonged exposure to radioactivity causes hidden and unwanted effect on long-term human life. So like this, we can the causes of nuclear hazards, how we can mitigate such type of instructions, if such type of conditions, you can say. So in this particular topic, what we have discussed: what is nuclear hazard, what are radioactive substances, what are the causes, what are the effects, what are the human health risk here, and also we also discussed the way of mitigation of harmful effects. Thank you.